Welcome to Culture Shock once again. Today we're going to talk about a particular category of problem that we have in organizations in terms of how we compensate employees and how we look at them, how we think about them. And in particular, I want to talk about salespeople. See, I think the way we think about salespeople is dead wrong. And I think we've been doing this for such a long time that we tend not to see it that way. We deal with a whole series of problems that we've given ourselves and just kind of accept them and try and find workarounds. And the evidence of this is typically in the way we compensate them, the commission-based structure that we've given them. Now take a step back and think about other categories of employees. HR people aren't compensated more for doing their job. You don't give the receptionist a bonus for answering phone calls. Other people within the organization do their jobs, and one hopes they do them well because they enjoy doing them. That's part of the role of culture. And in particular, we hire those sorts of people, and we say that we focus on this, hiring people who are like us, who buy into our sort of culture, who can add to the culture, who share similar values, and who've demonstrated that through a history of, I don't know, the way they approach teamwork or something like that, for example. We expect that of employees, and we know that if we add those sorts of people, we have a better chance of a harmonious workforce and the elimination of friction and all of those sorts of things. But when it comes to salespeople, we just simply assume that they're coin-operated, that there's no way they could be motivated by something as ephemeral as a sense of belonging or belonging to the narrative, buying into the narrative or anything like that. The problem with it is, though, that by assuming that, we are sort of setting ourselves up to deal with some of the worst problems, and some of the worst issues that we have within the organization typically are related to the short-termist view of commission payment. We have salespeople sort of stockpiling orders and sandbagging things and holding them up rather than declaring them just before there's an incentive program or something, so they can do better during that. Protecting leads, arguing over whose territory is whose lead was who made the phone call first. The most experienced salespeople in the team tend to be territorial and sort of holding on to their stuff rather than sharing the knowledge that they have and getting that back into the organization. And part of the reason it's like that is because they're commission focused. They're focused on what they can earn right now. The solution to this, a solution perhaps, but one that I'd advocate very strongly, is simply eliminate commissions. Get rid of them. Pay them a basic salary, same as you do for everybody else, a flat series of payments. Now, there are challenges with this, of course, okay? The argument you're going to give me straight away, and I know the one that's going through your mind right now, is my sales guys don't work unless they're incentivized to do so. My argument would be you don't have that problem with marketing people or with HR people, etc. So it's not a serious problem, it's one that you've given yourself. It's the way in which you're looking at it. You might be right, by the way, about certain specific salespeople. Some of them might be so driven by competition, some so driven by achievement of results that that's actually what they want to do. They want to be rewarded for that. But I think you've got a heck of a lot of salespeople on your sales team who are so stressed out by their lack of earnings if they don't sort of deliver that you are incentivizing that bad short-termist behavior. The way in which you'd have to compensate them, I suppose, would be to pay them slightly more than they're expecting to earn now. So a sort of an anticipated commission number plus their basic number might be it. What you'll get from some of those guys is fallout. Some of them just won't work. Some of them won't want to be there anymore and will move on. But I think you'll get a lot of people who are focused enough on winning and like the organization enough and the products enough that they're willing to give this a go in return for the security of having a solid paycheck. It's food for thought, guys. It's a new way of thinking about things. This is being done by some organizations overseas who swear that they're getting great results by this, but the jury's out on whether or not you'd be able to do it or not. I'd love to talk to you more about it. In the meantime, have a fantastic week.